and welcome to it. This is your piece of a Lickle Rum with Donald and Clive, and today we are speaking about care homes. And to start with, let me just say this: you're going to hear a lot of sounds in the background. This is unedited, and that is the point. And so, according to the NHS, moving into a care home is a big decision, and it can cost a lot of money. Before choosing a care home for you or someone you know, it's worth considering all of the options that might be there for you, and these may differ depending on where you are in the UK. And the NHS also says that care homes help with people who struggle to live alone, who want to have company, and they are elderly, and also people who had a needs assessment done, and then it was suggested that a care home would be best. And then last, for people who have complex medical conditions. Obviously, this is something that is very common in the West. Today, I'm speaking to someone who's been in the care industry for a very long time. Clive, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm okay.
You okay?
Yeah.
Are you taking care of yourself?
Yes, I am.
You do a good job taking care of others.
Yeah, that's what I am.
Yeah. And in this industry, that's what you do every day in the care industry. Can you just say a little bit about how you started and how you ended up here?
Well, coming from the West Indies, as a child, maybe from I think about 7 or 8 years old, I
Mm,
was had the task of looking after my grandmother's sister, who had no children, had no water, no electricity, going every day before I go to school, fetch her water, come from school, go back, and she was elderly, had no one washing her clothes, even giving her bath
mm,
at
mm,
the young age of 7, 8, washing an elderly woman.
mm. So you sort of started caring for people around you at a very early age.
Yes.
And so, as a profession, it sort of came naturally.
Yeah, so that's what lead me to care. Then after this old lady passed away, then I was, I got, I grew up with my grandmother, but then I then know who my mother was, and my
Mm-hmm.
mother became very ill
Mm,
and poorly, and then we had to care for her because we could not afford to put her in a home.
yeah, yeah. What do you mean when you said now you knew who your mother was?
Yeah, because as a child, I was left in a hospital where my grandparents signed and took me out from there and cared for me.
Mm-hmm. And they are the ones who raised you.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And you know, I mean, care is a very interesting idea for me because I am from Botswana and we don't have care homes in Botswana. I think because maybe so far the family structure has been sufficient in that regard that people have sort of aged and moved in with family with their children. If you're 80 years old, you move in with your child who is 60, who maybe there's somebody else there who's 40. And so there's this multi-generational households are normal. And so the idea of care is almost seen, perhaps misunderstood, as sort of sending your relative away, you know, um, you know, terminally towards, it's like they are old and you send them away. It's like they're of no use. How do you feel about people who think that way about
Well,
about sending someone
it
to?
came to shock to me when I came to the UK and then still continue into the care field and seeing so many people into care homes and family not visiting them and think it's okay because they are paying for them to be there. And I've, come in contact with so many people over the years who has passed and gone. And it just really hurt to see that they have worked all their life, and this is where they end up.
Mm.
We are completely strangers,
Mm-hmm.
strangers to look after them.
Mm-hmm.
But I enjoy what I'm doing, caring for them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I treat them like my great grand,
Mm.
you know, as a chef.
Mm.
Whatever they want, I do for them. And I always go around and ask them, what would you like? What you want me to make? It doesn't matter what's on the menu. I will do it for you.
Mm.
And that's the care I think elderly people deserve. People to love and be there for them. We are
Mm.
strangers. We are not their family. But we get come that bond with them like we are their children, their grandchildren, their great grandchildren.
Mm.
And that's a
Mm.
joy for me as being in the care.
Oh, I really understand that. That's me taking a sip of my rum. um, do you have yours?
Yes, I do. But
But you're not gonna have it. I'm having mine. Um, and obviously, Clive, there has been highlights. You've been in this for 30 years. I mean, you've been a chef. You've been in the chefing industry for 30 years plus.
plus 30 years.
Yeah, 30 years plus, and um, so carrying even through food, through managing units that make food for residents in a care home. You know, and doing that for so long, what have been some of the highlights for you? Just some of the best memories.
The best memories for me is when I prepare something and give to them, and they ask to speak to me after, and they say they enjoy. That is my, the greatest
Yeah.
for me. That they enjoy and they like what they eat or taste. That's my joy of being a chef.
Mm, 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 mm. And when you prepare the food, obviously you want them to enjoy it, right?
Yeah, and that's why my food is prepared with pure love,
Mm.
nothing else but blood. If there is something that I wouldn't put in my mouth, I would not give to them.
That's a really good principle. That's a really good principle. And Clive, of course, I have to ask you about some of the low points in your time in care. What has sort of left you with a frown on your face instead of a smile once in a while? Or yeah.
Well, for me in the care, things that brings I get upset by is the way sometimes carers look after residents.
Mhm.
They do it for the money. And I think in a job like that, yes, we all need money, but it should be this is something we want to do, and this is something we love to do. And we are trying to make, them comfortable and happy. Don't do it for them. If you're going into the care field as a carer, even as a chef or even as a manager, do it is because what you want to do and do it with love.
Mm. Thank you so much, Clive. We're going to have to wrap it up there so that I can be able to fit this onto the channel. And thank you so much. Thank you.
It was a pleasure.
Yes, and thank you everyone for listening in. This, of course, you can look for a Lickle Rum with Donald Molosi and Clive Ganess. Just follow the channel, and we put up the episodes here. We just talk for less than 10 minutes. So until next time, please take care of yourself and take care of each other.